The top kettlebell swing mistakes. If you're making any mistakes with your kettlebell swings or you're not sure if you're doing it correctly, then you're gonna wanna stick around for this video because I have 10 top kettlebell swing mistakes that a lot of people are doing. You might be doing several of these, and I'm gonna show you how to fix them today. And I have a bonus mistake at the end. You're definitely gonna stick around for that one. That could be the most important one. All right, let's jump right into it. First one is setting up wrong with the kettlebell swing, not setting up correctly. So if you don't set up right out of the gate correctly with the kettlebell swing, you're not going to be able to swing the bell right. That is key. That's why it's the top number one mistake. I see a lot of people, they just start to come up to the bell. They don't even think about it. They just kind of just grab the bell and then they just try to start swinging it, and they're not set up. They're not doing it right. This is gonna help you avoid a lot of these mistakes if you set up correctly. This is how you set up correctly. Foot space away from that bell, feet shoulder width apart, toes slightly turned out. And then the next one's coming up. You're gonna like that one. This is the next part. It's part of the setup. It's ab engagement. All right. So you want to engage your core. That's number two. Not engaging your abs. Power breathing before you set up the swing, because the bell is going to be moving. That load is going to be transferring to where your back. If you don't engage your core and abs, and you want it to load on your hips instead of your back. All right. So setting up correctly. So once you got the foot space away, you're going to crunch, engage your core. You're going to hinge. It's a hinge. So the kettlebell swing is hinge. Okay, you're hinging down. And then you grab that bell. Okay, grab that bell here. Pack those shoulders. You're ready to go. Okay, but that's number two, is your ab engagement. You want to set up correctly, and part of that is ab engagement. It's brace to a slight crunch, engage your core, and then you're ready for your swing. So once you set up correctly, this is another mistake I see. It's not hiking the kettlebell back far enough behind you. So you have to load the bell before you could swing the bell. Think, load and explode the bell up. Okay, so you want to set up correctly, like I said here, not hiking it back behind you enough to where it's right behind you, because if you don't load it into the loaded position behind you, the backswing, you're not going to load onto your hips and glutes to power it up. So you have to right behind you. Okay, it should go all the way back behind you, so that when you can, every time you could swing it powerfully. Okay, that is number three, not hiking the bell back far enough. How do you correct that? So you have these big muscles here, these back muscles called your lats. You're going to, once you set up correctly, that's why it's important to set up right. You're hinging down, foot space away. You're gonna pack your shoulders down. You're gonna use those muscles to hike it back right behind you. Okay, hike it back. Hike it back, all the way back behind you. You should see the bell all the way back. If you're looking at yourself in the mirror or you're doing a video, you see the whole bell, even your hands behind you. That's how you know you're hiking it back far enough. All right. And step number four, which is incorporated right here, is breathing. Breathing. So not breathing correctly or breathing wrong is going to mess up your swing. It's going to put you at risk for injury. So what you want to do, a lot of people I see swinging, they don't know how to breathe. They're just kind of just trying to figure out how to breathe. So you want to power breathe when you're doing the kettlebell swing. You want to power breathe. There are a couple key breath points that you want to focus on. First one, after you set up, gauge your core, you're all set up here. Okay, is the hike back breath. Okay, what I recommend is in, hold, and then hike it back. So it looks like this. Pack it up. In here with the nose, hold, and then you hike the bell back. Now that's the next step of the swing. It's the power breath. It should be not. What happens when you do that? Your abs relax, right? Your core relaxes. You want brace when you do that with me now. your abs start to contract and brace. That's what you want. That's how you protect your back on the swing. If you don't do the breath right, you're not going to protect your back. You're going to put yourself at risk for injury when you're doing the swing. So once you get the first swing step right, okay, once you set up right, the first breath is hold in, hold, hike, and then power breath just like this. Straight again, hike. As you can see, it's an explosion of your hips. It's synchronized as you power it through. Okay, that's the second breath. Okay, the third one is going to be the breath on the way down. Okay, this one is going to be something that I want you to focus on. It's breath, but it's also timing. Okay, so as you explode the bell up and it's floating, enjoy the float. Don't rush it. Let it come up. As it starts to come down, that's where your breath comes in. You want to take it somewhere through the nose, into the nose. Remember, we want to avoid that relaxing of the core. You did all the work to get your abs nice and tight and braced. You want to keep that brace, and this is how you breathe in. The quick sniff to the nose, 1 or 2, or as the mouth starts to come down. Don't wait too long to breathe in. That's where the timing comes in. If you wait too long to do your breath, the timing is going to be off. You're probably going to relax your abs, and then all of a sudden you have to backswing. So my suggestion is to, on the way down, as the mouth starts to come down, I want you to take a 1 or 2 sniffs through the nose just to get enough oxygen for the next swing, and then you go back and you continue the swing. All right. So one thing I want to point out, which is step number 5, is trying to lift the bell. Okay. I see people trying to lift that bell up here. So I'm going to grab a smaller bell here. So this is what I see all the time at the gym. So people are doing a swing and they're just kind of lifting. They're doing a front raise, a shoulder raise. Okay, they're kind of squatting and they're kind of doing that. Okay, because you can just lift the bell up like that. No, the kettlebell swing is not a front raise. It's not a front raise. It's a swing. It's a powerful, explosive swing that the energy comes from your hips, your glutes, your power. It's not a front raise, okay? This is how you know. This is a key tip. Pay attention right here. If the base of the bow, this part is facing the ground, like when you lift it up, you're lifting it. What you want is the bow, even with the smaller bow, you want the base facing that way, just like this. See how that faces that way? So again, the wrong way, lifting it, belt's kind of sagging, okay? You're trying to lift it, doing a front raise versus, okay? Do you see how the base is facing you, facing away from me? That's how you know you're doing the swing correctly. So stop lifting that bell, swing it right. All right, here we go. So, and speaking of swinging the kettlebell right, so to get a kettlebell from the backswing and explode it forward and up, you have to explode the bell. So the mistake number 6 is not exploding that bell enough from the backswing. Okay, so when you're doing the swing, if you don't explode the bell from this backswing, like as powerfully as you can, because you're taking a bell from way back here and you're shooting it forward. If you don't do it powerfully enough, the bell's gonna sag. Okay, it's gonna be like, again, see, I'm not really putting much power into it. Okay, you need to powerfully swing. As I do that, it's a really light bell. It'll feel light. Because that's where your power comes from. Your glutes, your hips, your power, and how do you powerfully swing, explode. That's where the breath and the hip power and the synchronization comes in. So you strike it back. It comes in a okay, it should be right from the backswing. You start to breathe out, your power breathe out. And then you should fire your glutes and hips forward, pop. Your glutes should fire. Your glutes should be like pop, legs lock. And then at the top, you should have a high standing plank. That is the next step here. Not locking out at the top of the swing. So as you swing it, you should be locked out. It's a standing plank. Okay, it's like tight, engaged, but relaxed arms. Okay, just like on the ground. So you be tight, engaged, core, glutes, everything's locked in. Same thing in the top of the swing. But this time, you're standing. And your arms aren't fully straight, like squeezing the heck out of the bell. A little bit relaxed, straight. And you're gonna, more importantly, engage core, engage quads, glutes, knees, locked out at the top of the swing. So not locking out into a high standing plank is the 7th mistake that I want you to avoid, okay? So make sure you, how do you avoid that? Well, first off, which is one of the tips here at the end, is learning how to do the deadlift correctly. All right, so with the deadlift, you bow, lock out, lock out. Okay, once you get that deadlift down, the swing is the same thing. It's a lockout, just the bell's in a different position. So, okay, okay, that power, that lockout is what you want. Okay, not doing that is the 7th mistake that I want you to avoid from the very start. All right, so once you get the bell going, okay, you exploded the bell up. The bell's coming down. We talked about the breathing. We talked about the timing. This is one of the top mistakes that I see a lot is, and I have them in order from the start of the swing to going through the swing, but this one is one of the top most important ones. It's bending, hinging, sorry, not bending. Well, bending, but hinging too early, meaning coming down too early in the backswing, okay? You have a moving weight, I get it, you wanna get out of the way. But if you hinge too soon, what happens? This bell, this kettlebell, this loaded weight comes down below your knees. Where does that load go? That weight has to shift somewhere. That's generally where you cause back issues because you're hinging your you're way down here. Okay, no, that's where that load transfers to your back instead of your hips and glutes, where it should when you time it just right. Okay, so do not hinge too early. Be patient, wait for it, enjoy the float. I know it's a little could be scary that we have a weight coming towards you. It's like you want to get out of the way, but if you learn to take a second or two longer to hinge down, it's gonna make all the difference because you're going to go from the bell coming below your knees and loading onto your lower back to instead bell coming right into this triangle here and loading right into that power. You're loading your hips and glutes versus loading your back. Your lower back. You don't want to load your lower back. You want that power coming your hips and glutes. Come down, load. Okay, wait for it. Right here is usually where I show a lot of people and a lot of my clients hinging. They want to come down. It's like, oh, here there's a bell coming down. Wait a second more, a split second more from the bell being here to your forearms starting to contact your sides. And then at the last minute, you load it. Okay, you load it back into the backswing and then you can swing it again. Okay, it looks like this. So watch my timing, how I wait till the last second and I fire it back, okay? I'll do a couple swings here, okay? As you can see, I waited and I loaded it back because I know I'm gonna do another swing. I'm gonna do another powerful swing, so I have to load it correctly. If I do that with my abs braced, with the swing, bell swinging like that, I load my hips, the swings feel crisp, powerful, and they just feel good. You know when your swing's off when you don't do this, okay? This is one of the main mistakes I see is hinging too early. Avoid that. Be patient, wait for the bell, okay? Start lighter. Some more on that on the end here, at the end. So, hinging too early, okay? Another mistake I see is, it's not too common, but it's something you may be doing, is just bending your arms. You have T-Rex arms. No, you're kind of swinging the bell with T-Rex arms. You're just kind of, you know, no. So that's not what you want to do. What you want to do is keep your arms straight, okay? You're not just bending, okay? You're not T-Rex arming it. That's another, anyway, that's another exercise. It's a technique, but that's not for the swing, okay? Because what happens when the arms come down, you have bent arms, what happens, because you have a loaded weight, remember? That weight's gonna shoot back and your arms have to straighten eventually, or you're gonna pull your bicep because you're trying to keep them tight, or you can even tear a bicep, is your arms have to straighten. And what happens when you straighten your arms? You lock your elbow. What happens when you lock your elbow with the loaded weight? You hurt your elbow. So keep your arms straight from the beginning. Straight, locked out. So as you do it, okay? It's straight all the way down. They're already ready loaded. They're loaded to load that bell back into the straight position or the backswing position with straight arms. You know, you can avoid the elbow injury that will come if you shoot them back from bent to straight, bent to straight. No, they can be slightly bent at the top, but ideally straight out as much as you can. Okay, so watch my arms here as I stay straight and I load my and the backswing, okay? Let me get this out of the way. All right, so set up correctly every time. Look, my arms straight every time. Always, it's our key tip, set the bell down until it's motionless, okay? And shake it out. And go to your next set of swings, okay? So the last exercise, which will help with all this, well, the last mistake, as I mentioned in the beginning, is not learning the deadlift from the very beginning, not learning how to do the deadlift correctly. If you don't learn how to do the deadlift, you're not going to know how to transfer that power from the ground, locking the glutes, locking the quads, locking the hips, getting into the high plank position at the top and exploding that breath. So when you do the deadlift, lock it out. See that power from the side. Remember, it's the same thing as the swing. Power it up. Lock it out. Okay, so when you come to the swing, you can do that same power. Watch the same, it's the same. I stand tall, I lock it out, but the bell's in a different direction. Okay, just like this. Okay. Just like that. Okay, learn the deadlift. Learn the deadlift. Trust me, it's gonna make a big difference. That's gonna be a video, that's gonna be my description. You can check that out after this, how that video here. And also how to do the swing, breaking it down, and I'll teach you and coach you in step by step. This is just the mistakes and how to avoid it. This is gonna help you. Then you start to apply these tips through my kettlebell swing foundation video, okay? So that'll be after. You can check that out after. Speaking of a video, a workout, something you could do, once you learn the swing, you start to apply it to a workout, right? So you want to have something you could do the swing with as a workout, something you can do consistent, something you can practice and get better at. Well, I have that just for you. I have a 10-minute full body kettlebell workout It involves a lot of the swing and some other kettlebell exercises. I have that. That's free. KB10 in the comments. I'll shoot that over to you. You can start practicing your swing. Okay, it's a video. You can do it with me. We can go through the quick workout, 10 minutes. All you need is 10 minutes. A kettlebell, 10 minutes. And you can get a full body workout while practicing the swing. Okay? So I want to put that out there before I get to my bonus video, bonus tip here, or mistake that you want to stick around here. This is important. I want you to listen to this. But if you do want that 10-minute full body kettlebell workout, KB10 in the comments. I'll shoot that over to you. You start practicing it, refining your skill, getting better at the swing, and some other kettlebell exercises. And you can just keep getting better, stronger, fitter, the safe way, learning how to do these exercises right. All right, so last one, that was 10, but I had a bonus I mentioned in the beginning. So if you stuck around, you're gonna be glad you did. All right, so the bonus mistake I see a lot of people doing is starting with the kettlebell that's too heavy. If you start with the kettlebell that's too heavy, or you increase your weight too much too soon, you're gonna probably do these mistakes. It's gonna be hard to correct them because you're using a weight that's too much for you to handle at the time. You're gonna get stronger if you keep practicing these, and eventually that bell will be lighter, will be a lot lighter, and it'll be easy, feel like kind of like a feather. All right, let me show you something. So this is my first kettlebell. Okay, first bell, 16 kilo, 35-pound bell, which I recommend men start with. Okay, men, unless you're 100 140 pounds or so, then you want to start with this bunch. Is a 12 kilo, 26-pound bell. But this is my first kettlebell. Months and months and months, I used this bell to learn how to do the kettlebell swing, the deadlift, and then the swing, which I'm teaching here. So you start light, start with a light kettlebell. Okay, and if you want a kettlebell that I recommend Kettlebell Kings. That's what I use. That's what all my bells are. My first bell was Perform Better, but I recommend the Kettlebell Kings bell. They're awesome bells. There's a link in my description if you want to grab that. Make sure you get the powder coat bells. But before I turn this into a commercial, I just wanted to make sure that you know that everyone starts somewhere. I started right here with the 16 kilo, 35-pound bell, and I built up to that. This is a 24 kilo, 53-pound bell. I have heavier bells I can swing, but it took me time to get to that point. And through that process, through the time, through the consistency, I got stronger. I burned fat. I went from 235 pounds to, I think my certification, my level 1 certification was, I think it was at 203. So almost 30 pounds just training, swinging, practicing, eating clean, of course. And you're gonna burn fat. You're gonna get stronger. You're gonna get fitter. That's the beauty of the kettlebell, especially the swing. It's gonna get you better. It's gonna get you stronger. And if you learn these techniques and avoid these mistakes, then you're gonna do it safely. All right, so the last thing, like I said, is starting too heavy, starting too heavy. All right, so men start 16 kilo, 35-pound bell, unless you're under 140 pounds. Then start with the 12 kilo, 26-pound bell. Then you progress. This one bell, you practice until you own the bell, you own the way, you own the swing, you know how to do it. You can do it any day, knock it out with excellent technique. Then you go up to the next bell, okay? If you're a woman, you start a little bit lighter. So women, start at the 12 kilo, unless you're under about 120 pounds or so, 115 pounds. This is just a rough estimate. Then you start with where's my small bell? It's a pink one, pink one for women. So Kettlebell Kings, this is a 8 kilo, 18-pound bell. So women start either 8 kilo, generally I say most women start with this one, learn the skill, learn the technique, and then you can go up to a 12 kilo. Okay, unless you're just really strong and you can learn, and you're, you can learn the 12. I would say just forget that. Start with the 8 kilo if you're a woman. Okay, and then you can progress to the 12. If you're a man, start with the 16 kilo, unless you're under 104 pounds. Then you start with the 12. Then you progress from there. Okay, men 16 kilo, women 8 kilo bell, or 35, or 18 pound. Okay, I have all that in my grabbing a kettlebell, what I recommend if you want to get a bell from Kettlebell Kings. I have that link, you can grab that. I'll have which bells I recommend. So you can check that out in the description. All right, otherwise, these are my top 10 with the bonus, so 11 mistakes, kettlebell swing mistakes that I see that you can avoid, that you must avoid, so you can, if you're gonna continue to do swings and do kettlebell training safely, get the benefits of fat loss, strength building, just improved conditioning, just overall fitness and health and wellness the safe way. All right, so those are my 10 steps. Rewatch this video, share it with someone you may think who's doing any of these tips, okay? Share with them. Let them know there's another way, there's a smarter way, and this is the way. And if you're making any of these mistakes, rewatch this, practice this, and in the comments, let me know what is one of the your top mistake that you learned here that you're gonna start avoiding. Maybe it's one, maybe it's two you're doing. Let me know in the comments below. But my mistake was this, now I know how to do this. Or if you have any questions on how to do that, if you're not sure, let me know as well. But again, I have in the description my kettlebell swing fundamentals video, how to do the kettlebell swing, okay? Foundation, plus the deadlift, because you want to do the deadlift, you want to learn how to do the swing, okay? So grab that, that's in the description. And again, KB10 if you want the 10-minute full body kettlebell workout, get it in, train, get it strong, train consistently in only 10 minutes. No excuses anymore. You can always get a workout in and you can build that consistency, which is what it's all about. All right, and otherwise, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching the video. Keep training strong, keep getting after it, keep getting it done for yourself, pat yourself on the back for any progress you make. It's all about progress. Learn the skills, learn the videos. If you want coaching, again, let me know in the comments as well. Have an awesome day, train strong, get after it, and enjoy the process. I'll see you in the next video.